the best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be.
Fox it tomorrow! Emily from Metro! Go back to Cincinnati!
This is the Slam Pigs Podcast, Week 2. Our second show ever. What's going on, Mike?
Another day in paradise. Show number 2, we made it.
Show number 2.
Thanks to everyone who viewed the first one. Really appreciate it. Blew my mind with how many people we actually got.
Yeah. Great response for a first
Absolutely.
effort.
I appreciate it. That's why we're back doing another one. Hey, you guys keep watching them. We'll keep doing them.
Yeah, we actually got some feedback, and we've actually, since we spoke to you guys last, we missed a pretty big event in the world of wrestling. Shane McMahon returned, Michael.
Absolutely. Last time we talked to you guys was...
Did you see it?
I saw it. I popped just like the crowd did almost, sitting in my chair. It was good to see him back. First thing I'm going to address, Shane McMahon versus The Undertaker.
Yep, let's address it. What are your thoughts on The Undertaker versus Shane McMahon inside the Hell in a Cell?
Yeah.
What do you do with that? You're booking it. What do you do?
First of all, I wouldn't book that.
Well, let's say you're dealt the hand of this.
As far as booking it, I mean, it definitely creates more drama in the match because, you know, the control of Raw is on the line.
Definitely.
I would like to think that there's going to be some kind of swerve before WrestleMania where it's not actually Shane McMahon and The Undertaker, but it's not looking like that's the case. But The Undertaker, so far, has basically rebelled against McMahon, but kind of weird, and said his blood was on his hands, and you know.
Yeah.
I didn't really grasp it a whole lot. I think they could have done a lot more with The Undertaker. No offense to Shane McMahon, but I mean Shane's in his 40s now. Hasn't been in the company in 10 years?
At least.
The
last time we saw him was, I looked it up, 2009, Fighting Legacy, and he looked awful. I watched it on YouTube, his offense, and I saw it this Monday on Raw when he attacked the security guards. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did see that.
Talk about shitty offense. He needs to pick up the pace because WrestleMania is right around the corner.
Well, he's old.
Yeah, so is Taker.
I think if I was going to book this, if you're going to put Taker in it, here's what I would do. I would make it a tag team match. You have Undertaker and Shane on one side. I'd put them on the same team against Vince, and let's say Ambrose magically wins a title. Have him against Vince
at Roadblock.
Yeah.
This Saturday.
Let's say Ambrose wins a title at Roadblock. That would be sweet because then you get Ambrose versus Reigns for the title, which is a lot more interesting to me.
Me too.
I think that's a lot
and
more.
And that's a perfect. We'll get into that later.
Yeah, but I would have booked it as a tag match. That way you can kind of take the pressure off of both Shane and Undertaker on having to deliver a whole match.
Because one hasn't wrestled in a decade, and one comes around every.
Yeah, I mean this has been the Undertaker's busiest year in the last 5
years, at least.
I would have definitely had it more of a Triple H and Vince versus Shane and Undertaker match for the control of Raw. I think that would have been more plausible to me. But hey, this is what they're booking. This is what I got to go with, I guess. As far as who wins, who do you like?
It's time for this authority shit to stop. It's been years.
Going with the underdog.
It's been at least 3 years. I honestly don't know how you book the end, but I think the end result is Shane winning. I don't know how they're gonna just surprise me with what they do.
You got Taker losing to WrestleMania to Shane McMahon.
He's already lost to Brock, and that pretty much put the nail in the coffin for him to really win all the time.
Good. Now, here's what I'm thinking they might do. I guess to add a stipulation, maybe they might put Taker's career on the line. That's a rumor.
I could see that.
That's a rumor that I've been hearing.
Is his last match against Shane McMahon?
Yeah, I don't
of
know.
all people.
Yeah, that definitely wouldn't be handpicked.
And we're not going to get the Sting ever.
No,
because I mean, maybe he's probably done the neck injury.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything about it.
God, he's pushing 60 years old himself.
So many injuries, but my prediction on that.
You like Shane?
I like the Undertaker.
Do you see a swerve?
I think I might see some kind of event happening where Shane doesn't win. I don't know how, but I just don't see how you can have The Undertaker lose to Shane McMahon at WrestleMania.
So you say the Authority storyline is going to continue then through WrestleMania?
I think it has to until people get healthy.
Right.
What else do they have?
Well, you can always hit the
heels?
reset button.
As far as heels go, I mean, what else do they have?
You got to make. They're at a point where they don't have a choice. They have to make new stars.
So I think the Undertaker wins against his own better judgment. I think because maybe they put his career on the line, something like that. I think Shane gets in his vintage spots. He's going to do some high flying stuff. He's going
to basically attempt to kill himself like he always does.
Yes, but
and they know that going in.
I loved watching Shane wrestle. He wasn't the greatest wrestler in the world, but he went for anything.
The match was Steve Blackman. He fell like fucking God. I mean, they had the safety pad, I think.
Yeah, do you remember the match with Kurt Angle?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, through the glass.
Not the first time.
Not the first time, and you know what? The first time probably hurt worse.
Yeah.
You know.
But I got the Undertaker winning.
Well,
by hook or by crook, I think the Undertaker wins, and control overall stays with the Authority. But I think you still have Shane afterwards.
You keep him around?
Yeah, I think you still have Shane afterwards, maybe going against the Authority in some way at the pay-per-view after. Because, the pay-per-view after WrestleMania is always pretty much just rematches.
Right. I don't know if I've heard he's staying around after Mania or not. I don't know how long he's here for.
I'm not sure on that either, but I got to go with Taker on that. I just can't see Shane McMahon beating the Undertaker at WrestleMania. I think it's crazy.
Well, in my opinion on the whole match, I think it's definitely desperation booking because everyone's out. But I think it was very smart how they're booking it with like the promos that are kind of based on real life with Vince losing touch with the fans.
Yeah, I do think that's
awesome.
Good. Yeah, and I think he was definitely alluding to some people as far as talking about under-talented people that are getting pushed down your throat.
Oh, I think Sheamus immediately.
Roman Reigns. And over-talented people who aren't getting anything, hence Dolph Ziggler.
Neville. Neville was really good in the ring.
Neville's good.
I don't know about his look.
Yeah, he definitely has...
Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Definitely.
Definitely Frodo's cousin. But, I mean...
He's more of an elf. More of an elf.
There's a bunch of guys that I think a lot of us, including Shane...
Cesaro,
I mean...
He was starting to get that push, and then he got hurt.
Yeah, he's injured.
But I think Shane coming back was a big shock, and they kept it under wraps, and that hardly ever happens
Yeah, I
anymore.
definitely didn't hear any news about that. I think that's why he got such a big pop. I don't think
nobody expected that pop.
I don't think... they definitely kept that one quiet.
See, and I keep thinking, we haven't heard a peep from Rock, and he announced he's going to be at WrestleMania.
Exactly. So where do you...
So one of two things. He's going to be in the Roman Reigns main event involved. I think he's going to be in his corner. Or could he be the replacement for Shane? I don't think that would be a good match either. I think
Rock and Undertaker, yeah.
Cena, for as shitty as I think Cena is in the ring, he can go better than Taker at this point in the game.
Absolutely.
And Rock couldn't have any good matches with Cena. They tried twice.
And to Cena's...
The worst sharpshooter I've ever seen, by the way. You remember that one?
Yes.
Good Lord.
And to Cena's credit, he has gotten a lot better in the ring over the past 5 years. I will give him that.
Depends who he's in there with, though. He's not the Shawn Michaels or Brett type that can have a match with a broomstick.
No, but he definitely is a lot better.
He's a utility guy.
He's definitely a lot better than he used to be. You can put him in there with almost anybody and have a pretty good match. It might not be match of the night, but he's...
Ahmed Johnson, let's fantasy book one. Well, Ahmed Johnson and Cena.
Oh, God. Ahmed Johnson reference.
Are we talking
about when Ahmed Johnson first got there, when he was doing all kinds of flying stuff?
Are we talking Jeff
about
Jarrett feud?
Yeah,
let's go with that Ahmed, not fat injured Ahmed.
Yeah, not bum-legged
kidneys.
God, and his knees.
Yeah,
jeez, you Pete's. But there's your Ahmed Johnson reference for the day, people, in case you wanted that.
Holla
if you hear me. But
I was actually into Ahmed when he first debuted. I thought he was awesome because they booked him strong, and then he just fell to shit basically.
Well,
I couldn't understand a word he ever said.
A lot of that.
Was like, that was like every Ahmed Johnson.
I'm gonna get you.
Yeah.
Between him and Farouk, I didn't really understand a whole lot of it.
Yeah. It's pretty bad when I can understand Ron Simmons better.
I think there was a lot of racial undertones in that feud.
Not in '96. No way.
But as far as that goes,
I like Shane McMahon. Let's finish up the Shane Taker thing real quick. I like the match. Your thumbs in the middle on it. We'll just see what happens.
I guess
I'm thumbs up on it just for the shock value.
I mean, I'm just afraid.
In my opinion, it is like the only thing interesting about WrestleMania. But now that another topic we're going to get to here in a second, Sami Zayn debuting, I think that's an intriguing match too. Now I could give a shit about the main event. Really, I mean,
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. for those of you who did watch Raw.
Yeah, let's get into Monday Night Raw this past week.
Yes, this past week on Monday Night Raw, Kevin Owens one-on-one with Neville. Pretty darn good match.
Owens won with the roll-up out of nowhere.
Yep, and then
It was a really good match, actually.
little
Holy
extra
crap.
activity after the bell, as Owens is known for. As he's going to give him the power bomb on the outside, boom, Sami Zayn's music hits.
Place exploded.
Crowd goes wild. Sami Zayn officially makes his debut on Raw. I know he had a couple. I know he had a match with Cena where he got injured. But this was, I guess we'll call it a return, not his debut.
Yeah.
But he made an appearance, and I guess they're booking him strong right off the bat. They're going to give him a title shot.
I'm pretty sure he's on the main roster now.
Yeah,
Officially.
I'm guessing that's what they're going to go with at Mania, or I don't know if they're doing a Roadblock thing. I don't know what they're doing.
I hope it's not a roadblock.
Sami Zayn will definitely be at WrestleMania. Hopefully it's against Kevin Owens. I think that'd be a great match. We've seen their matches in NXT.
We haven't even seen a fraction what these guys are capable of.
Absolutely. I think if you give them some time,
Look
hopefully-
them up on Ring of Honor if you ever get a chance. These guys had a ladder match I saw that was amazing.
That I did not see.
It was really good.
I've only seen their NXT matches, which I thought were really, really good. Unfortunately, of course, Sami Zayn got injured. That's my biggest question with Sami Zayn coming.
He got
to the main
injured.
roster.
He got injured coming into the ring. Do you remember?
Yeah.
He was throwing his arm in the air. It was like an Orton type injury, a freak.
And then he comes back and he wrestles Cena and gets injured in his first match with Cena.
That couldn't look good.
I mean, what do you do? What is he another
Backstage, I mean, that
Is he another Kennedy? I mean,
No.
a guy that you really
Kennedy was like-
really want to push, but he's just so fragile that he can't stay healthy.
Kennedy is a rare breed. He was, from the shoots I've heard, he was really hated backstage. Like, he was a douchebag. His best friend was Randy Orton, apparently. Then Orton, like, got pissed or something. He hurt him, and he got him fired, I heard. I don't know if you ever heard that shoot.
Didn't hear that shoot, but I definitely know that Kennedy.
I forget who said that. I think it was MVP.
I know Kennedy pretty much had a rocket strapped to his asshole, and he was supposed to be the next thing.
He won Money in the Bank,
They
and
gave him the
then
briefcase, and he got hurt.
that was, like, the only time somebody, like, won it right away. And
Yeah.
then, besides Cena, I think, he lost it to
CM Punk won it
Ziggler.
his first year, I think.
Yeah.
But besides that, Kennedy was supposed to be. I mean, the way they were pushing him that year, he beat what, 5 former world champions.
Yeah, but they were like Rey Mysterio, Booker T.
The
It was, they were
Undertaker.
smacked. Did he beat the Undertaker?
Yeah, he beat the Undertaker in a first blood match.
Okay.
Look that up.
Isn't that on the one Undertaker DVD?
Yes. So he beat him in a first blood match. They went on to have.
Well, there you have it.
They went on to have a match after that, which was even better. Trying to remember this.
I don't think I've ever
It was
seen one of their
Hearst
matches.
match.
I'm gonna have to
went
get on
on.
that.
They went on to have. It was 2006.
Well, there you go, guys. The first official. I'm starting something here on Slam Pigs. Match of the week. If I've never seen it, you guys need to check it out. It's,
believe it was
it's
at
Michael's
Judgment
surprise shocker of the week. The match of the week is Kennedy
Versus the Undertaker
at Judgment Day.
at Judgment Day.
What year was
2006.
that?
I believe.
2006, guys. So check that out. I'm going to check that out.
It was a
this
Hearst
week.
match. It was really good. There was a really good high spot where the Undertaker gets thrown off of what do you call it there? The jumbotron. Back then, he gets
Yeah.
thrown off probably about 20 feet. That was a really good match. Another
Shout out
street
to Bud
fight.
Light, by the way.
Bud Light, we love to party.
Last time it was Natty Bo. This time it's Bud Light.
Yeah, we're-
Something's not panning out, but
We like to switch it up.
we're not drinking a lot tonight, guys.
No, we're just keeping it kosher and calm.
You didn't, Michael. Actually, you didn't see Raw. I saw bits and pieces. I did see the main event was I think Bray Wyatt and Dean Ambrose, and the Wyatts came out and attacked Ambrose, and then Triple H went to pedigree him, and Dean Ambrose turned it and got a DDT. That's how they closed the show going into this Saturday. Let's talk about this weird Saturday. We don't even know the
Roadblock.
lineup. We're just going to breeze
Yeah.
through it here.
Roadblock. I don't know what the point of this is. I guess
To get
it's
subscribers.
either that or to get Triple H some work in before WrestleMania.
What I hope the point is that Triple H is not wrestling Roman Reigns. I hope it's Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns. This is my fantasy, though.
Yeah.
My fantasy land booking.
You can't see me. I'm shaking my head right now.
Yeah, he's not. Yeah, he's not a fan of that.
Well, it's not that I'm not a fan of it. It's just I just don't
Not a fan
see
that
it.
they're going to do that.
I don't see that it's actually going to happen. But
But I think that's a perfect way to set up his heel turn.
I see
That
Brock
needs to be done
interfering in
best
some
for him.
way in this match.
Me too.
That's the main event, obviously.
And it's also Brock and Bray Wyatt, by the way.
Brock and Bray Wyatt. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna battle.
They're gonna battle.
They're gonna
battle. American Gladiator style. They're
Exactly.
gonna fucking helmets.
Hey, Roadblock. I would have liked to have seen that match at WrestleMania personally. I thought that's where they were
I don't
going
know
with
if I
it.
wanted to see that match at all. I think that was a waste of Brock, and I think it was another loss for Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, has he ever won a WrestleMania match?
No, he hasn't.
He just gets
Lost
fed.
to Cena and Taker.
Yeah, he gets fed to the wolves.
Yep.
But I think that's a shame. We'll get into that later as well.
Yep.
What they're doing with Bray Wyatt right now.
Yeah, because that's something I wanted to address here for a while.
But I guess another match they're having at Roadblock. I'm not sure if it's booked or not. I guess we're gonna have another match between AJ Styles and Chris Jericho.
I think they have announced. I think that's for Mania.
Well, they gotta have something for Roadblock.
You want to get into the down here the AJ Styles frustrations?
AJ
Let's talk about AJ Styles, what they're doing with him, and what you think they should be doing with him.
What they're doing with him, obviously, is they're keeping him with Jericho for some reason. I'm not quite sure. Maybe they just don't have anything else for these guys to do.
Maybe he get his feet wet with the vet.
But how many times do we have to see this?
But they've all been good.
I mean, they've been good matches, but aren't you supposed to have a new feud when it comes to WrestleMania? Not the same feud you've had for the last 3 months?
Unless they put some kind of gimmick on the match, but there's no belt.
I don't.
So you don't put a
Yeah,
ladder.
I don't know what you do with that. Unless they're doing a retirement match for Jericho, I don't know.
I don't think he's going to retire. He's definitely part-time for a couple years, I see.
He's
still pretty young.
I'm a little disappointed in the booking, definitely, for WrestleMania so far. I feel like they could have been a lot more creative, done some different things.
I think that's pretty much every year lately, though. Except for the exception of 30. Because that
was good.
That was probably the best WrestleMania in years, as far as the ending.
25 was really good. I thought
25?
I liked 25. Aside from
Taker
the main
and
event.
Shawn.
Yeah. I mean, aside from the Randy Orton Triple H match,
Yeah.
which was the main event, I thought it was
The snooze of Mania.
Yeah.
I fell asleep during that main event. The only time I've ever fell asleep live during a main event of WrestleMania. Seriously.
But
You were there, I think, for
yeah, I was watching.
people
Yeah.
over or
Yeah,
something.
I was watching. I guess I just expect more for WrestleMania, especially this is.
Well, let's get to the other part of the AJ question real quick. Because WrestleMania is going to be a constant backdrop for us because we're so frustrated with it. We know why we're frustrated. What would you be doing with AJ Styles on the road to WrestleMania 32?
AJ Styles, I'd definitely be putting in an Intercontinental title match.
I agree.
I think you
I
book him
love
with Kevin
Zayn and
Owens.
Owens. I feel like it's really rushed.
Yeah,
I feel like we just said we're all about it, but thinking about it more and more, it's rushed. Mm-hmm. It has been a build-up storyline for a couple years through NXT, but not the casual fan doesn't watch NXT. So, who's this redheaded, weird-looking guy, basically, for the casual audience?
Yeah, but most of the audience now has the network.
I would like to think so, because it's a steal.
And if you don't watch NXT, you're stupid. No offense.
You're stupid.
Yeah, you're just dumb. Because that's the pure wrestling show.
Well,
of
if
WWE.
if financially you're not able to watch NXT, we feel you. But if you got the network and you're not watching it, what the fuck?
What are you doing?
Yeah, pretty much.
That's the best show in WWE right now.
So you put AJ with Owens for the?
I definitely would do that match.
Oh, yeah.
I think
we talked about that last
week. Yeah, we
week.
talked about that last time. That would definitely be what I would do. Even if you want to keep Zayn in there, if I can make it a triple threat match, or put Jericho in it too, nine-time Intercontinental champ. Make it a fatal four-way ladder match or something.
I was going to say that, but I thought, well, they did that last year.
Yeah, but
do WrestleManias need ladder matches ever since the Money in the Bank went for years and years? Is it expected? Like, if it's not a WrestleMania now, is it a disappointment? You're like, oh, well, it needs to be a ladder match, or
would you?
Because they need to be special in a way.
But I mean, just like I think it would be a lot better than last year because I think you have 4 suited guys for a ladder match as opposed to last year when you had Kane in it. Nothing like Kane in a ladder match.
He needs that payday.
Yeah.
He needs that Hercules payday.
And you got, last year it made
Shout out to Hercules.
Yeah.
Rest
Herc.
in peace.
Herc, I love you.
Herc and Jerk. My favorite team is Power and Glory. Power and Glory.
My
man.
favorite tag team. Yep. Love them. I love that Paul Roma. Got to get you some Paul Roma. If you don't know who Paul Roma is, look him up.
I totally agree about AJ Styles to wrap up that part of the show. I'd put him with Owens for the IC belt. You got to get a belt on the guy. You got to give him credibility. He's a new guy. A lot of fans don't know who he is, definitely.
Well, I don't know
if fans don't know who Sami Zayn is, which is under WWE's brand, they definitely don't know a TNA guy. So, and by the way, guys, on Twitter, for the questionnaire thing I put out there,
our Twitter question of the week comes from
Skook 9426.
Yeah. Very lovely lady, I must add. I loved your photo.
Thanks for the question. Her question was, Mike.
Is Ambrose WWE Championship material?
Can I take this one first?
Take it. What do you think?
I think Ambrose gets Steve Austin kind of not in his prime level pops, but like that when he was still a heel with Brett level pops, just turning. I think it's there. I don't like his look a lot. Something's missing.
I think he's kind of in the same spot that Steve Austin was 96, 97.
But Austin had the perfect look.
Yes, like, but if you think about it, when he first came in as the ringmaster and then he first switched over to the Stone Cold gimmick, he was still trying to find himself, and I feel like that's where
once
Ambrose...
he found it,
yeah,
you think he's still trying to find
Ambrose
himself.
is close to finding that character, that lunatic that they keep making him out to be.
It seems like he acts more than he's believable.
Well,
Austin was believable.
Well, Austin
he found it.
Austin was his character, if you think about it. Austin wasn't acting.
With that, like they say, with that volume cranked up.
Yep, he was just him cranked up to 20. But I think right now, as far as Ambrose goes, I think he's definitely has main event potential. I would like to see it as soon as possible.
Do you think it's too soon to put the belt on?
I wouldn't put the belt on him now. I really wouldn't. I know he can work with anybody, but I still think he's got to find that last piece to his character. Whatever that piece is, I think that's what they're trying to do with putting him with Brock.
Yeah.
Maybe getting him. They're trying
that
to make him look
win because he always seems to lose
crazy.
it when it matters.
He gets a mini push and it doesn't amount to
That's how they book a lot of these fucking guys. It's like they start this push, and usually it's on like SmackDown.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys watch SmackDown? Because I can't tell you. I think the last one I might have watched the whole way through is when we went 2 years ago to fucking SmackDown.
I don't watch stuff.
I'll see clips on YouTube for it, but
I mean, I can find out what happens before.
I tell you what, it's a lot better now with Mauro Ranallo.
Yeah, I like him.
Hell yeah,
but
that guy is all over the place.
The problem with SmackDown is it's not live.
Speaking of Mauro Ranallo, this is a little off topic from wrestling. I just want to shout out real quick this last UFC thing.
I watched it.
Good fucking Lord.
Watched it live. I watched
the
it live.
night of upsets.
The two main events.
Do you like Conor McGregor? You think he's a fucking prick?
Less and less as time went on.
It's going right to his head.
I think he definitely got a wake up call.
Yeah.
He thought,
your shit stinks, Conor.
He thought he thought he could fight anybody, anytime, and any weight, and he found. I mean, I will give him credit. That first round against Nate Diaz, I watched it. He pummeled the shit out of Nate Diaz.
Oh yeah.
But the second round, Diaz caught him with one right hand, and you could see it on McGregor's face. He was like, "Oh shit!" As
far as Holly Holm and Tate, I knew Holm had no ground game basically.
Well, that kind of sucked for Holly Holm because that whole fight, aside from the second round, Holly Holm was dominating that fight. She won round number 1, she won round number 3, she won round number 4.
But when it went to her area that she wasn't.
She did. To her credit, she stuffed 7 of 9 takedowns, which is pretty hard to do against Misha Tate, who's a world class wrestler.
I was about to say that's fucking Misha Tate. So
I think it was kind of a miracle. I think if they have a rematch, I think Holly Holm beats her.
Do you see Ronda getting the belt back at any time, or you think she's done?
They said Ronda's coming back in November. So I think that gives you time to have the Tate Holm rematch. Hopefully Holm wins, so you get that Ronda Holm rematch, because nobody wants to watch Ronda Rousey fight Misha Tate again. She's already beat her twice.
Yeah.
But
well, they might do it.
As far as McGregor goes, he already said he's going back down to his normal weight, going back down to 145. He's going to defend his belt against Frankie Edgar. I think that'll be another good test for him. Frankie Edgar, another world-class wrestler. Great ground game, and his cardio is second to none. Frankie Edgar keeps going and going. He's actually a former 155-pound champ, fighting for McGregor's 145-pound title. So I'd like to see what McGregor can do against a smaller guy than him, but Frankie Edgar's tough as nails. He keeps coming, and he never stops. He's always bouncing around, going for takedowns, throwing combinations. I think if it goes to the later rounds, I think Conor McGregor's in trouble. Conor McGregor's got to end that fight early if he's going to retain his belt. But besides that, I'm looking forward to a lot of stuff. The next UFC pay-per-view, you got John Jones fighting Daniel Cormier, rematch.
John Jones.
He's coming back. Yep.
He's coming back.
For the title that he never lost.
Fresh on the wagon.
Yep. So that'll be your main event at the next one.
Well, there you have it. There's a
little UFC update for you.
A little unexpected MMA.
For our UFC fans. See, we're not just wrestling guys.
Well, let's wrap up the MMA talk real quick. That Kembo fight.
Awful. I'm glad it was free, because if I'd have paid any money to watch that.
Fucking men. Well, speaking of Misha Tate and the ladies of MMA, that's a great way to segue into another thing that developed on Raw and SmackDown this week. It is now official. It's a triple threat for the women's. I'm going to call it the women's title. It needs to be changed back to that if you want to make it credible again. Divas is actually a derogatory term.
I don't like it. I didn't like it when they changed it to begin with.
It's an ugly. Any belt should be.
Why does it gotta look like a flower?
It's a butterfly.
Yeah,
and it's fucking pink and silver. But it's Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch. I see Becky Lynch coming out of this. I think everyone expects it to be Sasha, and I don't think they're going into a WrestleMania match. They like to do things that are totally predictable. Look back with Lex Luger at WrestleMania 10. Word got out. Vince changed it up on the fly. I think going in, I don't think it's going to be Becky Lynch.
There's a little backstory to that as well.
I think on the fly, it's going to be changed to Becky Lynch. Who do you like in this match? And by the way, this is going to be the best women's match in years at WrestleMania.
I hope so.
It will be.
Hopefully they give them enough time. As far as first of all, I'll tell you who I want to win. I want to win?
Sasha Banks or
I
Charlotte?
want to see Charlotte win.
I think I did say that last week. Or one of us said that about she needs to establish herself.
I think she's a great champion. I think you got to have a heel champ in the women's division. I think it's a much more interesting because there's so many baby faces in the Divas division. You don't have enough good heels.
Yeah.
As far as Charlotte goes, she's obviously the number one heel. Second behind her is
Naomi.
Yeah.
Tomato.
That's
Tomato Snooker.
Yeah. That's the sad part. That's why I think you have to have it on a heel.
Someone please Photoshop Tamina Snuka like a tomato, by the way.
Please turn her into a tomato.
That's a recurring character I see appearing on the show.
But
Tomato Snuka.
As far as who I want to win, I want Charlotte to win. I think keep it older. I think she's a great heel. I don't even think she needs her dad to get over anymore. I don't think
I can see her turning on her dad.
I think that's going to happen sooner or later.
Because who wants to be Ric Flair?
Yeah, exactly. You know? How's it going to make her a heel when they're cheering?
Fucking Nate, man.
But who I think's going to win? Sasha Banks. I think everybody's pushing for Sasha. I think everybody's expecting Sasha
that's cool
to win.
Too, definitely. I like all of them.
Yeah, you're renewing another old NXT rivalry.
It's all fresh, and it's not Rosa Mendez or fucking. I'm sorry, I'm over Paige. She's
Paige
really
is just annoying.
She's smoking hot, but her headbutts are so bad.
And every time she talks, I just want to puke.
This is my house.
This is my house.
Well, it's going to be a great match. We both agree on that.
I like Sasha Banks to win clean. I think that's what's going to happen, one way or the other. Sasha Banks. I think Ric Flair gets involved somehow, but he gets taken out of the equation.
I think this might actually, if Charlotte loses, I think they go. This is like the catalyst to start her turning on her father. Mm-hmm. Like he's going to cost her if she loses. I think that's how they're going to play that out.
Yep.
But that wraps up Raw. Really, that was the only really good things out of it.
So. Little bit of segue towards WrestleMania.
Unless you're a fan of Ryback and I like Kalisto, but I think it's going to be Ryback and Kalisto for the U.S. title.
All Kalisto does is lose. I don't understand why you.
No, he beat Tyler Breeze on. Yeah, but he's been winning a lot.
But
he beat Del Rio.
You think about SmackDown and Raw. All he does is go with Sin Cara and lose to the
that
foreigners.
Team, I hate to say it, Sin Cara's future endeavor.
Well,
it's time.
We all know it's not the original Sin Cara.
Yeah, he did. It's not his fault.
But I think why are you putting a belt on somebody and then putting them in tag matches with their old partner?
Yeah.
When you should be building them as this champion, especially when they're losing almost every week on Raw and SmackDown. You put them in these tag matches and they're losing. So what is that supposed to mean to a fan when they think about their championship reign? Do you really have confidence in him defending that belt?
Nope.
Why would you?
You don't. Why would you?
No reason to think he's going to win against whoever he goes against.
That's booking any champion.
I guess they're just doing the underdog thing with Rey Mysterio.
Well, they're making that they need that new Latino star. Del Rio isn't what they thought. I like Del Rio.
I think Del Rio is. I think they're booking him very poorly.
Book him like garbage.
Yeah.
They don't let him talk. They need to bring back his ring announcer,
Ricardo Rodriguez.
Well, we haven't covered this at all. This is the first talk we'll do of this. Hall of Fame 2016. We haven't mentioned any. Do you want to run down all the inductees announced so far?
Go ahead.
Well, the first one announced was Sting. I'm totally cool with that. I don't care if he's only had like 2 matches in this company. He is a fucking legend.
There's people in the Hall of Fame that never had a match, so, I mean...
There's people that probably shouldn't have had a match in the Hall of Fame, like fucking Drew Carey or...
Let's put Coco Beware in there. Jeez. Coco, I'm
Shout
sorry,
out to
buddy.
Frankie.
Frankie, you were more entertaining than Coco.
I actually popped in WrestleMania 6 the other night. Coco opened up the show.
Yep, he could
and
sing.
he lost.
Yeah, he could sing a little bit.
What was his move called? The Ghostbuster?
Yeah.
That's great.
Creative, huh?
I like it.
But,
Sting, you like him? In the Hall of Fame?
I think that's got to be your headliner.
What did you like better? The Surfer Sting or Crabman Angry Wolfpack Sting or fucking Crow Sting?
Oof. I think they all worked well for the time period, to be honest.
I didn't really like Wolfpack Sting. I thought he looked like
Wolfpack
a
Sting,
crab.
I think Wolfpack Sting kind of just... Because everybody was joining the NWO at that
Plus
point.
he started like talking.
Yeah.
It wasn't... When he was quiet and silent.
Sting gives you that Undertaker vibe. He doesn't need to say anything, you know what I mean? When he does speak, it should mean something.
Yeah. I'm going to go with the nostalgia. I like Blonde Surfer Sting.
You like 80s Sting.
His match with Cactus Jack is fucking still really good.
You like him and Flair having those classics.
Oh, yeah. When he had the USA face paint.
I don't think he was ever more over, though, than when he fought Hogan for the belt at Starrcade.
No way. Well, he wasn't as well known.
It was 98.
I mean, WCW, that was their peak, basically.
So for me, that was my favorite Sting character. I thought it was kind of creative the way they brought him down from the ceiling. I liked what they were doing with him there. He didn't have to say anything. They built that feud up so well, too.
But the match...
Nobody had to say a word.
The match, it's the ending.
Yeah.
It didn't make sense.
Well, it was a total botch. It was
it wasn't. I know it's not.
It was supposed to be a slow... If you look, it was supposed to be a slow count by the ref.
No, but he didn't.
He didn't slow count. And because of that, Bret Hart was supposed to come in and break that up somehow.
Was that in Bret's book?
Yes. Bret was supposed to come in, because if you remember, Bret still ends up being a factor in that match anyway.
Yeah, because he wouldn't let him ring the bell or something.
Bret was actually supposed to stop that count. I guess the ref didn't realize that it was time to go home. But he counted fast.
Little Nate or Tricky Nick Patrick?
I think it was Nick Patrick.
Oh, of course. The worst count I've ever seen a referee do. But maybe besides Bill Alfonso.
Tricky Wiggle Arm.
Remember the Rumble 93?
Yeah,
Shout out to Fonzie. I'm a Fonzie fan. RVD's
looked like a fairy counting to 3. But
so we like Sting. Okay, inductee number 2. Good old Poppy Shango, the Godfather.
The Godfather's going in.
Well,
everybody come on aboard that train.
They're gonna run short on guys eventually. I guess eventually it's starting to be now.
Yeah. Well, they have one of these guys every year.
Is he Coco level? Or is he like? Do you think he should be in there? Come on.
If you put Coco in there, why not?
Let's pretend a lot of the shitty guys aren't.
You got your mid-card jobber wing.
Let's still pretend it's a fucking...
That's what it is, if you think about it. It's the mid-card jobber wing.
The sad part is the Godfather was an Intercontinental Champion. That's who Owen Hart was going to wrestle when he fell and died.
Well, so was everybody else back in 2000.
Yeah.
I mean...
Test.
I mean, who didn't hold the
Intercontinental
Intercontinental
another dead
title?
reference, my bad.
Yeah, who didn't hold the Intercontinental title in 99 or 2000? China held it, for God's sake.
Steve Blackman. They never put it on Steve.
Well, he got that hardcore.
By the way, guys, we love Steve Blackman, and if you don't, turn off our show now. Because, yeah, the Lethal Weapon, man. But, yeah, I guess you put the Godfather in there.
Yeah. I mean, who else they got?
He was around for a long time. He did... I guess he sold merchandise. Did he have merchandise? Prostitutes?
I know he scared the shit out of me when I was like 5.
But he's not going in as Pop. See,
yeah.
I hate that they're doing this. They did this shit with Scott Hall. They only let him go in his razor. Is this for like...
You're also forgetting his other gimmick.
Kama, the Supreme fucking Machine.
Uh-huh.
The Supreme Rap from Taco Bell.
Wrestled The Undertaker at SummerSlam.
Ugh. That's also another reference to that DVD.
That was the same...
I know it's on that DVD.
That was the same SummerSlam as Diesel versus King Mabel for the title. Another classic.
That's another time for another show. The third inductee... I'm surprised I'm remembering all these off the top of my head. I have no sheets here for this, for the actual inductees. Just a little rundown. The Freebirds. It's about goddamn fucking time.
Yep.
And you know what? Jimmy Jam Garvin deserves to be in there too. Because in WCW, it was just those two guys. Well overdue. It's been like overdue. Randy Savage levels of.
Well, I think it was. You kind of hoped this was going to happen because they're doing it in Texas.
Yeah. In Dallas.
Yeah, I mean that's obviously where their legendary feud with the Von Erichs happened.
Speaking of which, Kevin Von Erich's inducting.
That is correct. I did hear that.
Old Barefooty himself.
Old
Barefoot Bernie.
Him and Snuka couldn't buy any shoes, but they could wrestle. I'll give it to them.
So definitely the Freebirds. Hell yeah. And
Freebirds.
and Monday on Raw, back to Raw, the Big Boss Man, Ray Traylor himself as the Big Boss Man,
God
not
rest
the Guardian Angel or fucking Big Bubba.
Big Bubba. God rest his soul.
I agree with this one too. It's about time.
I like Big Boss Man. I think he was another real good mid-card guy.
He's up there with Rick Rude, and I feel people that should be in there. And Jake, they're all him or Jake Roberts are on that level. Like, yeah.
You think about it, Big Boss Man only ever held one belt.
Tag champion was Shamrock, because I remember that in the WWE game when it was Attitude Era.
Oh yeah.
But that's like who knows that?
That was
besides us?
that was like the Intercontinental belt back then. Everybody was holding the tag belts.
Yeah.
But I mean, he definitely could have held more. I think early on in his career, I think he could have been a viable option. As far as that goes. But that, to me, is all the three people that I really think of with the Hall of Fame. I'm sure there's others that we'll get to later.
I heard that Jushin Thunder Liger is going in.
Why?
No, he's a legend, man. Fucking what? What do you mean, why? It's Liger. You didn't know anything about Japanese wrestling as a kid, but you knew who
what's
the fuck...
that have to do with WWE?
Well, I mean, we talked about...
That's why I'm saying why.
We love that Sting's going in.
Yeah, but he was a WCW legend.
And Liger's in
Liger
New
was a
Japan.
cruiserweight champ.
Liger won the Super J Cup. Don't get me started on Japanese wrestling.
I know you love your Jushin.
I
know you love your Thunder.
My Muda, too.
Yes,
Don't take away my Muda.
You want to get into Juventud Guerrero? You think he should go in, too? You like you some Hoovy juice?
No.
Oh, okay. I see Liger's good
I
enough.
like it about as much as I like Zeus juice. Shout out to fucking Zeus.
Zeus, you're still a bad wrestler and a bad actor. Congratulations, buddy.
This was a huge rumor I heard this week. I know you probably heard nothing about it. The Balor Club. Do you know anything about the Bullet Club?
The Bullet Club I did hear about, yes.
Do you know who they are?
Shinsuke, and you got
No, he wasn't in the Bullet
Nakamura,
Club.
wasn't it?
No.
Are you kidding?
He usually fought the Bullet Club. No, the Bullet Club is like a rip-off of the NWO.
I'm pretty sure he was in there. He was the founder of the Bullet Club.
Finn Balor is the founder of the Bullet Club. He was Prince Devitt.
I was told that it was Nakamura who was actually the founder. We'll have to look that up.
Whoever told you that needs slapped in their little chin.
But yeah, you got him. You got who else? You got
Luke Gallows.
Yep, Luke Gallows
and Machine Gun Carl Anderson. They're rumored to debut before WrestleMania, somehow involved in the Shane Taker feud. This makes no sense to me. This is probably just a bullshit rumor. If you want to breeze by this,
yeah, could be a bullshit rumor. I mean, maybe it's to back Shane up a little bit. I don't know.
We'll see if this pans out.
How much help are they going to be in Hell in a Cell? I don't understand. But as far as that goes, I know I need another beer.
Definitely.
We are back.
Breaks are welcomed all the time.
I love breaks. But we have to come back to our dedicated audience. Hopefully there was some nice clips for you to watch there. I'm trusting that Travis did a good job with that.
Well, they wouldn't be watching it. It's an audio show. So.
Yeah.
Let's get into Austin Aries. He debuted on NXT. This is actually 2 weeks ago. Yep. We didn't update that at the time. I'm an Austin Aries fan. You're not too familiar with him.
I've watched him a couple times in TNA. Looked like a pretty good worker. Pretty good mic skills. He definitely fits the mold for a WWE character. I think it definitely adds more depth to the NXT roster.
Definitely.
Well needed. Somebody for Samoa Joe to fight.
It's probably who he'll fight after he beats Balor for the title with the takeover.
Yep, because Balor's on his way up.
There's a quick prediction.
Balor's on his way up very soon. If not before WrestleMania, it'll be the night after. Has to be.
Yeah.
Balor's been down
there.
It's
got to be. There's always one every year, so why not Balor? It's time.
So let's talk a little bit about Austin Aries. I know you're more familiar with him
basically, and also Baron Corbin we're going to be talking about too.
The debut itself, we just watched while we were on break. They debut Austin Aries, and on his way down to the ring, he gets attacked by resident big man in NXT, Baron Corbin.
Are you a Corbin fan?
I liked his finisher.
Other than the finisher?
Other than that, I think he's kind of a generic-looking Roman Reigns. I think he needs a different look. He's definitely big guy. I know how Vince feels about those.
He's basically a Vince wet dream
Yep, pretty much.
in 2016.
I've seen him work. I've also seen him work a couple times in NXT. Wasn't real impressive as far as in-ring skills. Like I said, I like his finisher.
The only good match I saw him have was Samoa Joe at a takeover. So,
Well,
but it's Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe.
So
He has good matches.
who's been tearing it up, by the way?
Yep, he's got to be coming to Raw soon.
He's got himself in like 2005 shape again.
I think that's why they have all these NXT signings. I think because there's so many guys that are ready to come up, they got to have something left down there.
Yeah, they can't just like raid it
Yeah.
WCW style
Yeah.
or Bischoff
Then
style.
you have nothing left.
Because it's basically turned into its own brand, like you said.
Absolutely. And I mean, they've taken it on the road now. It's not just in the same arena all the time. They're getting big crowds like they had in London for TakeOver.
Yep, it's international.
Yep, it's
And you got
definitely
old
for
droopy face Regal there in England. He got a big pop in England, definitely.
Oh yeah, of
Well
course he
deserved.
did.
He is a legend.
Hometown guy,
I shouldn't rag on him. I love William Regal.
and he loves his Triple H.
Great heel. He could have been a world champion, I think. He could have been a great heel in the 2000 eras when they were kind of low on. Well,
I think he was good as Intercontinental
Edge
champion.
pulled it off,
I
why
liked
not
him,
Regal?
I liked him as Intercontinental champion. I think
definitely. The brass knucks thing was great.
Regal was a good
That was
worker,
the best Regal.
but Regal was an old school kind of boring worker, if you think about it.
That British style,
Yeah.
that Billy Robinson.
Yep, smash mouth kind of style, ground game.
What is it called? Wigan?
Yeah.
What they study over there, that fighting style?
I'm
that
not sure what it's
European uppercut shit?
Yeah. It's definitely a physical style. I like his style. It's just not real pleasing to the eye for most fans. I think that's why he never got that big push. I mean, he did win King of the Ring.
Yeah.
Let's not sell him short. Intercontinental champion. I believe he's tag team champion as well. European champion. I mean, he did a lot of things with WWE that
And WCW held a lot
And
of belts.
WCW held a lot of belts.
Title, I think the United States.
he was more of your second champion kind of guy. The guy that's going to go in there, you know you're going to get good work for him, but he's just not a main event that you really salivate for. Oh, William Regal's in the main event. I mean, that's where I come from on that.
Yeah.
But as
It's what could have been.
as far as that goes, Austin Aries,
A lot of people were mad about the debut. I mean, as long as it builds to Aries
Yeah,
looking strong in the end.
I mean,
it's
I guess
alright.
they had to build a feud for him to start
Not
with.
every debut can be like a great.
Yeah.
They got to change it up sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely different. Obviously, they're going to build with
He
a
did
match.
clobber the shit out of him from behind.
Oh, yeah.
That was pretty stiff.
It was stiff. Welcome to the big leagues, kid.
Maybe that was a little.
But
Somebody whispered in the ear of Corbin, "Hey,
Could've been.
this fucking TNA guy."
yeah, go get him. But especially after the debacle with Samoa Joe and Tyson Kidd.
Yeah.
If those of you who don't know, Tyson Kidd's been out ever since he had a dark match with Samoa Joe. Muscle
Been a
Buster.
while. It's been like almost a year.
Nailed a muscle buster on Tyson Kidd, and I believe fracture his spine, I believe.
Yep.
So Tyson Kidd's may never come back. They're saying at least a year. But that was months ago. I hate to put that on Samoa Joe like that because he is such a good worker. But that's what happens when you bring in new guys and people aren't used to working with them.
And what they love to say, it's not ballet.
Yeah, it's not ballet, and moves like that are not exactly the safest moves. That's why you don't see many pile drivers anymore.
You don't, except for like Taker, basically.
Yeah, you
nobody does a pile driver.
Yeah, nobody does a regular pile driver, not a tombstone. I'm talking about like regulation pile driver. Spike pile drivers like you used to see back
Oh
in the
yeah,
day.
yeah. That's not.
Greg
That's not.
Valentine.
If the curb stomp isn't allowed, that's
Yeah.
not coming back because
So-
that's added pressure from like
Yep.
at least a 250-pound man.
Got enough injuries. Jeez, Pete.
This isn't on our format. I forgot to put it on there, but it's official for the NXT title at Takeover is Balor and Joe. Like we said, a quick prediction. Another match that's official is Sami Zayn and Shinsuke Nakamura. Special attraction match. Now that Zayn's on the roster, I think. Ooh, that's tough.
So what do you think they're setting up for here? You think they're setting up for Nakamura versus Joe
Oh, definitely.
later on down the line?
And it's also Asuka and Bailey for the title. This card
gonna be a really
is
good match.
way more appealing than WrestleMania.
It's
Good
gonna-
lord.
Yep. You got really good women's match.
Asuka's my pick. I think
You
Asuka's
like
the
Asuka to
future
knock out
of
Bailey? You
women's
think
wrestling.
Bailey's on her way up?
She's on her way up.
You think so?
She's the John Cena of the
You
women.
think she's going to get over on Raw?
Most definitely. She's geared to be manufactured towards kids.
She's kind of bland to me. I don't know.
But it's not for you and me.
Yeah.
It's for the younger girls. And I've seen a lot of guys in Bailey shirts at like NXT shows. It's weird.
Well, I mean, she's a great worker. I'll give her that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
as far as her character and her personality, her mic skills, very bland.
It's just one of those things like the car salesman balloon guys. that come out with- it's something never seen before. It's fresh, and that always gets
For those of you who haven't
sizzle.
seen, for those of you who haven't seen Asuka, that woman can work.
I was aware of Asuka a little bit when she was in Japan, but I didn't know a lot about her. Every time I've seen her wrestle in NXT, good
she is
lord,
the best Japanese woman to come to WWE.
She would wrestle men in Japan.
Yep, since Bull Nakano. For those of you who don't know, Bull Nakano can work.
Oh yeah, we love some Bull Nakano on this show. Let me tell you, that SummerSlam '94 match.
Yep. But the best match that they ever had was Alundra Blaze and Bull Nakano in the Tokyo Dome in front of 50,000 people. A women's match in front of 50,000 people.
Yep.
And Bull Nakano actually won the belt.
Alundra came out on the Harley and everything.
Yep.
Bull Nakano, if fucking Medusa's in there, you got to put Bull Nakano in the Hall of Fame.
I think she deserves it. I thought she did well.
You know why she was let go? Cocaine.
No,
and then she was a pro golfer after
Bull
that.
Nakano got let go because she got pregnant.
Oh.
I read that. Yep.
I thought it was cocaine too.
She got pregnant and then she joined the women's golf tour. But originally she left WWE.
Do you think she spiked the hair when she stepped onto the putt and tee?
I don't
Just for good luck.
I hope not, because that wasn't the most.
You talk about things that
you think about divas today, and Bull Nakano.
Is there footage of
Bull Nakano? For those of you who don't know who Bull Nakano is, look her up.
Well, Nia Jax.
Yeah,
she's kind of like Samoan Bull, but not nearly as good in the ring.
Reminds me of
Nia Jax. Samoan lady.
Nia Jax reminds me of that diva that they had in the early 2000s.
Nicole Bass?
No, I can't think of her. Light-skinned black girl. She actually was...
Nydia.
No.
I'm just kidding.
No. She actually was... Oh, crap. Because she was... her boyfriend was in the tag team with Christopher Nowitzki. What was his name? Because they had Theodore Long as their manager.
Jazz?
Jazz, exactly.
Oh, but Jazz wasn't.
She reminds me of Jazz.
Like thick and fat.
Jazz was kind of thick,
but she was like
especially
muscles.
But yes,
she was actually really good.
Physical
Her
worker.
and Trish had good matches.
Physical worker. That she was
the champ.
She reminds me of Nia Jax. That's why.
Okay.
That's why I think of her there. Kind of same style worker. Kind of that badass.
Yeah.
Kind of woman that you need in the division.
Yeah.
But shout out to the NXT pay-per-view coming up. I'm excited about it.
It's looking really good. Well, it's time to address something that, oh God, I could talk about my frustration. We talked about yours with Ziggler last week. This week, the misuse of Bray Wyatt. I have seen a lot of pro wrestling in my life, and I know how angles play out, but this just doesn't make sense. Is he pissing someone off backstage? He always starts the angle strong. And it's like they purposely write promos for him that are supposed to make him look like he doesn't make sense. Because most of the time I zone out on his promos anymore because they all sound the same. I don't think he's progressing. I just think he's stagnant, and I think...
Well, what do you do with him? I mean, they're not putting him in the main event picture.
What if you turned him babyface and you dropped the family? Could he be like a Mankind, like, lovable freak character?
I mean, that's a good idea. I mean, I could definitely go along with that. It's just then I think you have to make his character more sane. You know what I mean?
More human.
Yeah, he's definitely has that insane kind of not right in the head character.
Going into WrestleMania, he doesn't have a match. He's wrestling Brock Lesnar. He's going to lose. We know.
Yeah, it's just a pump-up match for Lesnar. But maybe they're working on an angle for him at Mania. I don't know what they're doing with him. Is he going to be in the...
I hope it's not nothing.
Have they announced a Battle Royal again this year?
Not that I know of.
Okay. Well, that might be another thing that's not promoted that just happens last second. I mean, we're still 4 weeks away from WrestleMania, so there's...
Anything could happen.
There's 3 more Raws before this happens, especially with the Roadblock pay-per-view coming up this Saturday. Well, it's not pay-per-view, it's a special event.
Yeah.
But
I think the first nail in Bray Wyatt's coffin was that WrestleMania loss to John Cena at WrestleMania 30. He should have won that match. Definitely.
But he did. Of course.
Of course. Just like Rusev last year.
Rusev, let's see what's going on with his character now. Relegated to the...
It's so bad with Rusev, I don't even want to talk about him. It's just completely
another
a joke.
Good worker. But as
the League of Nations thing, by the way.
Yeah,
Good Lord.
Like take a big shit sandwich on that one.
Yeah.
But we all know Barrett's going to be gone in a few months. What they do with that angle, I'm not sure how long that lasts. I think they're just setting that up. Unfortunately, I think they're setting up a League of Nations.
Well, he's asked for his release or something.
Yeah, he's put in his notice.
Yeah. I don't blame him. They do nothing with him.
Well, he's also...
Talk about wasted potential.
He's another injury-prone talent.
He is. A white Ahmed?
Much better mic skills.
Well, is it the accent or is it the mic skills? I don't know. I'm just kidding.
I like his mic skills. I like his work.
You feel the same way, though, about Bray Wyatt? Totally wasted.
Absolutely. I think they
You're
could have done
Bray
a lot
fan?
with Bray Wyatt. I've always been a big
His match
Bray
with
fan.
Daniel Bryan still is probably his best match.
Great match. But, I mean, he's had good matches with everybody, I think. I don't think Bray Wyatt gets enough credit for how good of a worker
in his
he
blood.
is. Yeah, I don't think he...
Dirty Barry.
Yep.
Dirty Barry Windham.
Yep. Mike Rotundo.
IRS, Mike Rotunda, the U.S. Express.
Mm-hmm.
Come out to Bruce Springsteen. You have to be good to come out to Bruce Springsteen.
I don't think he gets enough credit for his work. He's the best working big man they have in the business right now. He's not. Maybe he's not considered a big man, but
You
to
mean
me,
Ryback isn't?
no.
Oh.
Although I will give him some credit. He has gotten better. I will give him some credit as well.
I just don't think he stands a chance. I just think the fans are always going to shit on him.
Well, once they missed the boat with him back when he was fighting CM Punk for the belt. That was when he was hot. He was when they had that.
Do you think the belt should have gone on to Ryback?
If they were going to continue his momentum, I think the worst thing they ever did was turn him heel to get over on John Cena.
It was kind of exciting, I guess. They were going to make a new star, then they just stopped.
I think
and then they turned him heel and put him with Curtis Axel, and he just wrestled Curtis Axel on Raw last week.
I think they turned him
as
heel.
a heel, 2 heels.
I think they turned him heel because he was, I hate to say this, but he was getting over more than John Cena as a babyface.
Well, I could put on tights and get over more than John Cena.
Well, maybe not with little kids, but the little kids were even on Ryback's side because, I mean, it's a fun thing. Feed me more, you know. But
feed me s'mores.
Yeah.
I want some s'mores Pop-Tarts. I think we have some.
I like food. But yeah, I think that's why they turned him heel to begin with, and I think it was a terrible idea. Hated it. It also went along with the Shield gimmick. But that concludes our rundown of
what's going on right
now.
It's about time for our first installment on the. Since we're on the,
road to WrestleMania.
I don't like that. Wait, before we get to theme songs and I don't like the road to. I think it's lame. I think a lot of things they make up in their head is lame. Like,
okay, since we're 4 weeks away from WrestleMania, a new installment we'll be adding is our classic WrestleMania of the week, and we're gonna start off this week with my favorite WrestleMania.
Well, you don't think it's lame?
What?
You're just gonna be like leapfrog over my. You don't think like Road to WrestleMania is lame? You're good with it.
Road to WrestleMania.
It is what it is.
I mean, it's wrestling.
It's a part of wrestling now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's always been the road to WrestleMania. I mean, why fix it? I mean,
well,
you
this
may not
week
like it.
we're gonna take. This is your favorite WrestleMania.
Definitely my most watched.
Most watched. Does that equal favorite?
I think because it's my favorite just because of the time period and when it happened, and what was going on in wrestling.
2 sneezes, by the way. I broke my cherry on my sneeze on podcasting.
Yeah, sneeze times 2, God bless you.
If you guys heard it, that's what that was.
Yeah. But,
I sneeze like a madman. He knows.
Yes. My favorite WrestleMania just because I think of the time period in which it happened in my age. I was, I think, 6 or 7 years old when this happened. WrestleMania 9. Now, before all of you comment on how crappy you thought WrestleMania 9 is, and all you podcast lovers out there that hear all the other people commenting.
We want the podcast lovers.
Well, I'm just
we love them.
I'm not saying we don't want that. I'm just saying before you chime in on this, and tell me how much you hated it or how much you've heard it was crap.
The ball is going to be in your court on this.
Yes.
I'll give a little bit of feedback. Like when it's your pick of the week, I'll like chime in every now and then.
Yes.
But you're going to take the court. You're going to pick up the ball, run down the court with it. This is WrestleMania 9 on Slam Pigs Podcast, the first installment on the road to WrestleMania 32 of our top WrestleManias when we come back.
Bam.
Ladies and gentlemen, you all know that Dusty Rhodes has been injured. Well, we want to welcome back tonight Dusty Rhodes for his first interview since his injury. Here is the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. And Dusty, your fans fans welcome you back, man.
First of all, I would like to thank the many, many fans throughout this country that wrote cards and letters to Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, while I was down. Secondly, I want to thank Jim Crockett Promotions for waiting and taking the time, because I know how important it was. Starrcade 85, it is to the wrestling fans, it is to Jim Crockett Promotions. And Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream, with that weight, got what I wanted. Ric Flair, the world's heavyweight champion. I don't have to say a lot more about the way I feel about Ric Flair. No respect, no honor. There is no honor among thieves in the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. You don't know what hard times are, Daddy. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work and got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times are when the auto workers are out of work and they tell them go home. And hard times are when a man has worked at a job 30 years. 30 years. They give him a watch, kick him in the butt, and say, hey, a computer took your place, Daddy. That's hard time. That's hard time. And Ric Flair, you put hard times on this country by taking Dusty Rhodes out. That's hard time. And we all had hard times together. I admit I don't look like the athlete of the day supposed to look. My belly's just a little big, my hind is just a little big, but brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad. And there were 2 bad people. One was John Wayne and he's dead, brother, and the other one's right here. Nature Boy Ric Flair. The world's heavyweight title belongs to these people. I'm gonna reach out right now. I want you at home to know my hand is touching your hand for this gathering of the biggest body of people in this country, in this universe, all over the world now. Reach it out, because the love that was given me, and this time I will repay you now, because I will be the next world's heavyweight champion on this hard time blues. Dusty Rhodes Tour 85 and Ric Flair, Nature Boy. Let me leave you with this. One way to hurt Ric Flair is to take what he cherishes more than anything in the world. That's the world's heavyweight title. I'm gonna take it. I've been there twice. This time when I take it, Daddy, I'm gonna take it for you. Let's gather for it. Don't let me down now, because I came back for you, for that man up there that died 10, 12 years ago and never got the opportunity to see a real world champion. And I'm proud of you, and thank God I have you. And I love you. Love you!
The American Dream, Dusty Rhodes fans.
Well, that was our last break, Mike.
Last break.
I've been excited about this segment because I know how much this one means to you.
It's my favorite. I'm excited about this part of the segment. I think you guys are really going to like it
Part
too.
of the show.
Yep. I think it's going to be great because as far as we go, we may have our favorite WrestleManias that you may not have known much about. This one is another one. You may have heard a lot of negative feedback on it. Like I was saying before, I don't necessarily agree with it. I think it was great for what it was. But then again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. This is my favorite. I was 6 or 7 years old. This was this is probably my most influential WrestleMania that I can remember. Growing up being a big wrestling fan. So it is WrestleMania 9 live from Caesars. Yeah, had a little tongue twister there. Live from Caesar's Palace, Las Vegas, Nevada.
Well, let's kick it off like Vince kicked it off.
I believe it was the first outdoor
Caesar's Palace. It was
Las
awesome.
Vegas, Nevada. The site of WrestleMania 9.
The intro was awesome.
Yes.
For 93, it was awesome.
Yes, but this was, I believe, is this the first outdoor WrestleMania?
Yes.
It was, because 8 was in
fully,
the Hoosier Dome.
Yeah, fully outdoor.
Yep. This was the first outdoor WrestleMania.
You don't count like Dome.
Yep. This was the first outdoor WrestleMania. It was definitely different as far as look-wise from any WrestleMania before.
Different in a good way.
Yeah, I thought a lot of people didn't like it. I thought it was great, just something different, a different look to WrestleMania.
Caesar's Palace.
I can't stop saying it.
Let's go over the intro before we even get to the matches. Do you recall what happened before we even got started? You had everybody coming out in their togas.
One of the greatest parts of any WrestleMania in history. Like, I don't even care if you guys don't like it. First, you had Jim Ross's debut.
Yep, that was his
debut of good old JR.
A lot of people don't know that. That was his debut.
And when you watch it now, his voice is so much higher. And I know he's been through a lot
before
of...
his cerebral palsy.
Yeah. Bell's palsy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have back issues. Cerebral.
Oh, whatever. It's palsy. Yeah. I'm not a doctor.
Shout out to palsy. But you had Jim Ross in his debut.
Jim Ross, he's alongside the Macho Man.
No, wait, and the Macho Man came out with the Vestal of virgins eating.
Ooh,
being fed
grapes
on the little portable bag.
Yeah, he was laying down,
looking like a fucking candy bar in his outfit.
Well, he looked
it was like purple and gold or something.
And not to mention,
it was awesome.
The best part after that, of course, is Bobby Heenan coming out backwards on a camel.
One of Bobby Heenan's greatest moments.
In a toga.
With it and
falls off the camel.
Backwards on a camel. Hey, stop this camel!
You see him in his whitey tighties.
I think they were blue. It's so sad we've seen this so many times because Marshall pulled it off. They matched his toga.
They were blue.
They were blue.
But that was a great start to WrestleMania, especially for a 6 or 7 year old watching
it. Was a great start.
It was hilarious. It was good family fun.
Well, I think Gorilla Monsoon was the first person we saw in a toga.
Gorilla Monsoon
was like throwing it to Jim Ross.
He was throwing it to Jim Ross. And then you had Jim Ross alongside Macho Man and Bobby the Brain. The debut for Jim Ross.
Speaking of debuts, the first match, the debut of a certain crazy-ass female.
Luna Vachon.
What's the first match
here, The first match, one of the best matches on the card, in my opinion. Shawn Michaels defending the Intercontinental Championship against Tatanka.
The Native American.
The end
of the trail.
So you have Shawn
Samoan
Michaels.
Drop Express.
You have Shawn Michaels with Luna Vachon in his corner.
It was a fucking Samoan Drop.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say about that.
Yeah. That was his finisher. But to get back to it, Shawn Michaels with Luna Vachon in his corner. Didn't really make sense. It was the first time we saw Luna. There was no build-up for it, really. And in the other corner, you didn't really understand why Luna was there. But in the other corner, you have Tatanka.
Well, he just dropped Sherry.
Yes, right? With Sensational Sherry. Right. We understood why she was there. Luna was kind of there.
Well, I guess kind of made sense.
I guess he was the bodyguard for. I guess she was the bodyguard for Shawn Michaels to keep Sherry out of it. Great match, I thought, for what it was, the opening match of WrestleMania. Intercontinental title on the line. Really good spots in this match. Of course, you got Shawn Michaels working, so you knew you were going to get something good. It was great for what it was. You had some good little spots on the outside between Sherry and Luna. Sherry pretty much just backing Luna off. In the end, controversial finish. Tatanka wins by countout.
Well, it was a time limit.
No, it was a countout because I guess Shawn Michaels pulls the ref out of the ring while he's counting. I guess the count was at 9, and he pulls the ref out of the ring.
Leg, right?
He pulls the ref out of the ring and then jumps in the ring, gets Samoan dropped. Tatanka's laying on him for the count, and it was either ruled disqualification or count. I'm pretty sure it was count out. Instead of counting to 3, the ref rings the bell.
It was count out, verified by Wikipedia.
It's
look
count
it up
out
real quick, guys.
because the ref would have gotten to 10 before he got back in the ring. Kind of, not the finish everybody was hoping for, but of course all the...
With the time, Tatanka was undefeated still.
Tatanka was still undefeated.
He was red hot.
He had beaten Shawn Michaels in a 6-man tag prior to
bring up the last minute. Maybe Tatanka was planning to go over in the last minute. It
could have been a last minute change.
There you go. There's a prime
happens
example.
all the time at WrestleMania. But
I thought it was a great match.
I thought it was a really good match.
It kind of seemed it was one of those frustrating matches where it's like all for nothing because nobody.
No real.
It's frustrating.
Winner. Yeah, nobody. I mean, Michaels keeps the belt.
But you have to book stuff like that all the time.
You have to keep the
there
crowd
has to be
into
gray areas.
Sometimes the feud ends in a different way. This actually ended the feud between Michaels and Tatanka, and it actually built more between Sherry and Luna Vachon. Because after the match is over...
she beat the shit out of
Luna Vachon.
This was the first time you actually saw two women get extremely physical.
You saw Luna Vachon
realistically
beat the crap out of Sherry.
It was bad.
Later on in the pay-per-view, even you saw her beat her up again in the locker room.
Yep.
Rammed her head
In the
into the
trainer's
wall.
room or something.
Yeah, rammed her head into the wall. It was pretty physical for women.
So it was a good debut for Luna. I mean,
Yep, good debut for Luna. Made her look pretty good.
do you think she should be in the Hall of Fame?
Thought
She's not.
She's
no.
not. Her dad is. Mad Dog.
Mad Dog.
Yep. Luna, I would definitely put her in there.
That might be her uncle. I don't know. I'm not sure.
Or it could be
a
her uncle, I don't know.
relative.
Well, it's somebody that's related to her, whatever it is. But all right, that wraps up the Intercontinental Title match, which
The
was
next
the opener.
match is probably, in my opinion, the best match on the card.
It was a good match.
And when the head shrinkers are the best match on the card, this proves that the ring work doesn't have to be excellent to love a card.
I thought it was a real well told story as far as the match went, because you had these two teams that were both trying to get into title contention, really show all their stuff. I think this was one of the last times for a while that you saw the tag team division really have a lot of depth, where it was more than maybe one or two teams that you thought were title contenders. You had the Steiner brothers, Rick and Scott.
Who are these two teams? The Steiners?
The Steiners
and
making their WrestleMania debut.
and another team debuting.
Another team making their WrestleMania
Who were they,
debut.
Mike?
The Head Shrinkers, Samu and Fatu. Shout out to Head Shrinker Samu. I know you're from the area.
He's not from the area.
Well,
but
he's worked in the area. Met him. Nice guy.
We are based out of the Eastern. We're in Maryland, and a local outlaw indie promotion around here has Samu. His best friends are the promoter.
Yep.
So we've seen Samu a lot on indie shows around here. He's a cool dude. He does wear sandals all the time with no socks.
Oh, he's Head Shrinker.
Yeah.
But
That's what you do. And the other one is
Samu
kind
and
of
the
a
Hall of Famer. Hall of
Yeah.
Famer fought too.
There you go.
Going in.
Rakesh.
Yep.
Not as Fatu, by the way.
Yep.
Back to going in as a character
Yep.
again.
This was fought too. This was his debuting character. in
Great
WWE.
fucking match.
This was a great match. You know what I remember most?
Stiff.
You know what I remember most about this match?
The cane shot.
No, when they have
You know what I'm talking about?
when
there?
they have Rick Steiner up on, I guess it's Fatu's shoulders, and Samu comes to jump off the
And he
top rope,
rolls?
and he catches him into a
Oh,
power
and a power slam.
Yeah, power slam off.
Yeah, that
the
was
top rope.
for '93. That
Yeah,
was sick.
that was a
for
crazy
today
move.
that you don't see that.
That was a crazy move.
Steiners were no fucking joke.
No, this was definitely a showcase match for both these teams. I thought they definitely stole the show. They gave him a lot of time too. I think they gave him at least 20 minutes for this match. But how do you tell this match to go home the way it was working? I mean,
Yeah, well,
Great
if I'm a
match.
referee, the last thing I want to do is piss off a Steiner and
But-
tell him to go home 5 minutes early.
but in the end, Frankensteiner, boom, the Steiners get the victory over the Head Shrinkers.
Great match. And next, I think it was cut backstage to.
Yes.
Okay, the backstage area, they had a statue,
Mm-hmm.
a white statue face of like Caesar or
I think it was Ray Rougeau back
Hercules.
there. doing
somebody
the interview.
interviewing Doink.
Yeah.
And Doink painted the fucking statue
painted
like
the Greek statue like
and
a
Doink
clown.
face paint.
Yes. Next match is you have Doink the Clown
But that was great, by the way.
making his WrestleMania debut.
Doink the Clown, Matt Bourne.
Yes.
Doink the Clown.
God rest his
Evil
soul.
Doink was a great gimmick.
I thought it was a great character for the time period. I thought it played into those people that have a fear of clowns. It was a good idea for what it was. And you have him going against Crush. Yep.
Do it.
Babyface Crush.
He's gonna. There it is. Kona Crush.
Kona Crush, the
The
babyface
bright
Crush.
fluorescent orange
Yes,
crush.
with a really, really bad mullet.
What was the build up to this match? Because you can't mention this match without the build up.
The build-up was basically Doink the Clown took his arm off and beat the crap out of
He had
Kona
a
Crush with
fake
it.
arm.
Yeah, he had a fake arm on. He
He
came out-
ripped his arm out of his socket.
Yeah, he definitely had the overreaction for Vince, like you expect. He attacked Crush from behind, which set up the build-up to this match. I thought it was another cool match for what it was. Wasn't the greatest ring work by both people,
Well,
but
look who we're talking about.
well, Matt Bourne was a pretty good worker. Crush was never a horrible worker. But we were talking about two dead guys again, unfortunately.
Sad.
This is only, 23 years ago? And,
They should be in what, their 50s now?
yeah, both these guys died too soon. But in the
Fucking
end,
wrestling.
Doink picks up the victory in controversial fashion. You want to tell them how it happened?
It's an illusion.
In the words of Macho Man. Basically what happens is...
No, Bobby. Because Macho Man,
That ain't illusion, that's bullshit. Oh, yeah.
That's a horrible Macho
Two
Man.
doinks, basically, is what happens.
We cannot do
The ref
Macho
gets
Mans.
knocked out somehow while he's on the ground. Another doink
The
comes
first
from...
appearance of two twin doinks.
That is
that
correct.
was in Survivor Series.
That is correct. Another doink comes from out under the ring.
While he
Attacks.
has the cranium cruncher,
Yes, he has
crusher submission hold
yep.
for you younger listeners that don't know.
It's the Kona Crush or whatever you want to call it.
How did he apply that? What goes into the Kona crusher effect?
A lot of crap. Definitely, I guess, isn't the most realistic looking move, but I guess
He squeezed their head literally like he was
yeah,
squeezing a basketball to
like
test if it was
like
flat.
He was squeezing a coconut. But
I never squeezed a coconut like that or seen anyone squeeze a coconut.
I guess when you're from Hawaii, that's what you do. You squeeze coconuts.
The debut of two doinks. He hits him from behind.
Yep, the other doink hits him from behind. The original doink gets the cover. 1, 2, 3, over.
Over.
Good mid card match.
I don't know if I'd say good mid-card match. I think we're probably the only two people that like that match because
Well-
it holds nostalgia factor.
Well, it was a different finish. You know what I mean?
It
wasn't-
was.
It was
It-
different. Next,
You had the debut at WrestleMania of the bad guy himself.
Razor Ramon,
Hey, hola, me chico.
the bad guy. This
As
is
a
back when
heel-
this is back when he was still a heel.
You would never know he's a heel in this match. Do you remember the crowd turning on Bobby Backlund, his opponent?
You know what I remember most about this match?
I remember. Why did Bob Backlund always walk on his knees? Do you remember that?
Yes.
Do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Well, he was supposed to be like a shoot wrestler.
He was. He's fucking Bob Backlund.
Yeah, but the thing I remember most
Definite shout out to Bob Backlund, who we met at
Yes,
SmackDown.
great guy.
He was backstage by the concession area,
Yep, we
signing
actually-
random autographs.
Yep.
We actually had a conversation with him.
Talked to him for like
Talked
10
to him about
minutes.
Brett,
Yep,
the
talked to-
backstage etiquette at the
Yep.
time, drug use.
real nice guy.
Made time for fans.
Made me
definitely.
feel like I was actually wrestling worthy because I was pretty much his size.
Yeah.
But
Well, now that you shrink when you get older, you know that.
I'm just talking height and stature wise.
yes, height wise,
But anyway, he's making his first WrestleMania appearance,
which is unbelievable since
Yeah.
it's '93.
considering how long he was a champion in the 80s, the early 80s.
But the crowd totally turned. Razor was a cool heel at the time.
Yeah, the thing I remember most about this match, I know it's sad, is that Bob Backlund didn't have any music.
Yeah,
How are you at WrestleMania?
it's '93.
Yeah, and you don't have any entrance music.
For God's sake.
And his opponent-
Kona Crush had.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
I mean, we could at least give the guy some music. But no,
Razor gets the
and
win
If you
in
think
a-
about it, he didn't have any music till he turned heel. He
Who?
still didn't have music.
He never had.
Yeah. How do you not have
He
music?
did-
He didn't
he
have
had-
music till he did the president
To
gimmick.
the president game.
Yeah. How do you not have? How do you not have music? And he was the world champ.
For 7 fucking years, right?
And he took it off Brett at Survivor Series with no entrance music.
That was a horrible match.
Yeah, it was awful.
That's the worst Bret Hart match, maybe.
Well, either that
One
or
of
his
them.
match with Backlund
And
at
I've seen
WrestleMania
Brett
11.
wrestle like Papa
But,
Shango.
yeah,
Again. The next match, which
Well, anyway, Bob Backlund
Yeah,
gets the
let's-
victory. Or
What?
no, Razor Ramon gets the victory. I'm sorry, with the schoolboy. Got him the schoolboy roll up. I'm sorry. Schoolboy roll up gets Backlund. Backlund's, sad. He's doing his sad face, and the crowd pops for the heel. Shortly after this, Ramon actually was turned babyface. So this was kind of the procedure
I
to.
guess they saw it here.
Yep.
Hey, this guy could be a great babyface.
Yep,
That's
like
exactly what happened.
The crowd liked the gimmick.
Maybe
All
he
right.
was put in there with Backlund for a reason, because Backlund was kind of a dork. Let's
Bland.
be real.
Kind of vanilla guy.
Just Opie from
Yeah. No, I mean, he just wears regular trunks, kind of pale, no music.
Howdy Doody.
Yeah, no music.
Ginger.
Stands there bouncing around like an idiot.
The next match, take it away, the semi-main event.
All right, this is your semi-main event.
Natalie Cole, by the way, with the debut, another debut. Todd Pettingill. I'm sorry, Todd Pettingill.
Pettingill, he's still got his own podcast now.
You know what? I think the first debut of Todd. Do you remember he's up there at WrestleMania 9 with the Japanese photographers?
Yeah.
Yokozuna #1.
But
Good stuff.
he interviews Natalie Cole after this match.
I fucking hate Todd Pettingill, by the way, guys.
But basically, your
Awful.
your co-main event, your semi-main event, whatever you want to call it, you got the tag team champions, one of my favorite tag teams of all time, Money Incorporated, the $1 Million Man, Ted DiBiase, and IRS. They're putting the belts on the line against a makeshift tag team, making their first, actually it's making their return, because they actually did have one tag match.
Let's talk
before
about
that.
the build-up to this match. It's Hogan and Beefcake.
It's the Mega Maniacs,
The Mega... God, there were some awful team names.
with Jimmy Hart as their manager.
with Jimmy Hart as his
The mouth of the
first
South.
babyface role ever.
Yep. Because Money Inc. I thought there was a really good build up for this match.
Well, let's take it.
Money Inc. crushes Beefcake's face in a Raw match
with the briefcase from IRS.
Yep, with IRS's briefcase. Jimmy Hart actually shows some compassion to Beefcake, tries to step in, and gets shoved down. So that was kind of the precedent for.
Yeah, this was great. It's on the Best of Raw DVD. I watched a lot. It was really good.
It was an emotional moment. It actually kind of got you a little bit.
The big news at the time was the return of Hulk Hogan.
Making his return. Yep.
I don't think the fans were as accepting this time. I think they were over.
Another thing that happened, he came in with a black eye.
Well, he came into WrestleMania with the black eye. Which was a jet ski accident. There was a lot of rumor like it was Randy Savage punched him or he dropped a weight or
that's what they said for the actual main event was that he actually had a
Why wouldn't they just say
accident.
he had a jet ski accident? That's way cooler than a fucking weight falling on your face.
Doesn't make him sound as tough, I guess, because he's not pumping iron when he's jet skiing.
Yeah, Natalie Cole just passed away recently, and she was interviewed at ringside, so I don't know shit about Natalie Cole. She was Maxine Cole's daughter.
Yeah, she's a singer, I think.
But I don't,
I didn't know her. That was the only time I ever saw her.
So rest in peace, Natalie Cole.
But back to the tag team title match.
I'm saying that about Tom Penningo, but...
we got Money Inc. defending the belts against the Mega Maniacs.
This match sucked. I'm sorry. It
wasn't great.
No.
I'm not gonna lie to you. It wasn't
great. Beefcake. Oh, by the way, they smashed him in the face. We forgot to say this. Beefcake came in with a mask that was like steel, and it looked like a sting.
It looked like somebody graffitied all over it.
Yeah, it looked like face paint.
It definitely wasn't the best worked match.
And it was a DQ on top of it.
And it was a schmoz.
There's really not a lot to talk about the match. They threw money out at the end. They threw
a lot of rest holds. The best part of the match is when, after the match is over and disqualification is called, Money Inc., I believe, gets the victory because of Jimmy Hart, I believe, interfering or
This
whatnot.
was the first year besides WrestleMania 4, I think, that Hogan didn't main event WrestleMania. Well, kind of.
Yeah, he did anyway.
But we'll get to that here in a second.
That'll be later on.
Speaking of another match that I thought this was not very good either, considering one of the guys in this was an amazing wrestler. The narcissist Lex Luger. Look at the leg. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. And
Bobby
Kurt
Heenan's
Hennig.
wet dream.
That debut for Lex Luger, guys, at the Rumble 93, you got to check it out because Bobby Heenan makes that.
He made it really awkward.
That might be my favorite Bobby Heenan clip of all time. Besides, hey Stu, wake up! At Survivor Series 93.
Hey.
Lex Luger, Mr. Perfect. Michael, take it away. Because I don't like the match.
I thought it could have been a really, really good match.
The best part came after.
The best part's after, of course, sets up a new feud. But as far as it goes, they put Lex Luger over against Mr. Perfect, actually clean. I mean, dirty but clean because he used the steel elbow on him, which is stupid. That was the most gimmicked finisher ever. I gave him the elbow. That's illegal.
It was kind of. They could have made it a lot cooler.
The match itself just wasn't great.
It's Lex Luger.
It was Lex Luger's first WrestleMania.
I don't care if it's his 8th WrestleMania. It's fucking Lex Luger.
Mr. Perfect did what he could.
He was awful in the ring. I'm sorry, guys.
Mr. Perfect was not awful in the ring.
No, Mr. Perfect. I mean, he just couldn't salvage Lex Luger. What's that say about Lex Luger?
Anyway, Lex Luger gets a clean victory over Mr. Perfect. Don't know why.
After the match,
Perfect
went looking for Lex backstage.
Perfect went looking for Lex.
Who did he find Lex with?
He found Lex with Shawn Michaels. And what he ended up finding was a super kick. And Shawn Michaels puts a good beating to him back there.
Rubber trash can.
Yep.
It looked like it hurt like shit.
Shawn Michaels puts a good beat down, which set up a feud with them later on that was really, really good.
But the match was kind of disappointing.
This match here was probably my least favorite.
Well, let's move on.
Aside from the next one we're going to talk about.
Here is the official worst match of WrestleMania 9.
Definitely.
Probably the worst match of The Undertaker's career and
Yes.
the stupidest ending of one of the matches of WrestleMania of all time. The Undertaker making his second WrestleMania appearance.
Third.
Against El Gigante himself.
The Giant Gonzalez.
Mr. Bodysuit, Mr. Naked Hairy Penis Man, the Giant Gonzalez. Take it the fuck away. The Vulture entrance was the best part of the match.
Yep, great entrance for The Undertaker. I liked it. As far as the match itself, it was just a total crap fest. Undertaker ends up winning by disqualification because the Giant Gonzalez gets him with some cloth of... They said it was chloroform because I remember Randy Savage. The chloroform, man. You got him with the chloroform. I can smell it. Knocks The Undertaker out. Undertaker wins by disqualification. After the match is over, the Undertaker comes back out magically, even though the crowd's chanting for Hogan. They bring the Undertaker back out. He comes in, knocks John Gonzalez out of the ring, and then that's that. What else can I really say about this match? Not a whole lot of actual wrestling in this match. Pretty much just punching and clotheslining. Definitely wasn't the Undertaker's best match with anyone at WrestleMania. Probably his worst WrestleMania match of all time.
Definitely.
But nonetheless, he gets the victory. And
by DQ.
That was that. Pretty much after that, John Gonzalez wasn't seen for much.
The main event of WrestleMania 9, Michael.
So we moved to the main event. You have the challenger, Yokozuna, the 1993 Royal Rumble winner, alongside Mr. Fuji in his corner.
Let's talk about that Rumble ending real quick. That Royal Rumble ending.
Oh, yeah.
Is that the worst Rumble ending?
Yeah, it definitely didn't look real at all. Basically, it's down to Yoko and Macho Man. Macho Man gives him the elbow off the top rope and for some reason tries to pin him in a Royal Rumble. And then Yokozuna, I guess, presses him off of him.
Kicks out and he flies over the top.
Somehow it's the most gimmick-looking fall over the top rope ever. Yokozuna wins, and Macho Man is doing commentary. So,
yeah. Your advertised main event, we should say.
Yes. Your advertised main event, Yokozuna, challenging.
The best there is.
WWF champion, my favorite of all time. The best there is, the best there was, best there ever will be. Bret, the Hitman Hart. This is his first WrestleMania as champion.
Yes, sir.
As WWF champion. They had a pretty good build-up with this. I remember they had the contract signing. Yoko does the bonsai drop on him a couple times. And even at the press conference, the WrestleMania press conference, for some reason Lex Luger attacks Bret Hart. Nothing ever really came out of that. That kind of, I guess, was supposed to be another storyline that was supposed to happen that never happened.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is your main event of the evening. I thought it was good for what it was. Bret did what he could. I thought
Yoko was another great big man.
Yoko was a good big man, but it was just hard for. I don't know how you make this match look good. You know what I mean? Yoko's meant to work with another big guy. You know what I mean?
Where it's more believable.
Yeah, his match with the Undertaker, I think, was better. His matches with the Undertaker, like at the Rumble, 94 Rumble with him against the Undertaker.
This wasn't as bad as WrestleMania 10 match they had.
No.
I thought that was very boring and...
Yeah, but I mean, what can you do? Bret can't do anything to him. I mean, he's just going to run and try and knock
sharpshooter
him.
looked horrible applied to Yokozuna.
But anyway, this match ends with a dirty pin. Basically, Bret gets a sharpshooter on Yoko. Mr. Fuji throws salt in Bret's eyes. Yoko pins him for the 1-2-3. And there's your new champion, your new WWF champion.
There's also
Yokozuna.
a screeching tire you probably heard.
They probably didn't hear that.
People outside driving.
But anyway, Yoko's your new champ. His first title reign in the WWF at the time. He's your new champion. You think, hey, this is the end of WrestleMania 9.
Then who runs out?
Then magically,
Mr. Glory Boy himself.
Magically, Hulk Hogan comes down and is, I guess, trying to console Bret. Yeah, check on Bret's eyes. For some reason, Bret's telling him to go in the ring as Mr. Fuji's
taunting him.
As Mr. Fuji's kind of speaking English. It's kind of Fuji English.
Hey, Hogan.
Yeah, you Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
Well, I missed the one part, but I just want to back.
My Yokozuna.
No, not even that.
It's chloroform.
All right, I didn't get to say that.
I already did that.
I just wanted to say it too.
Okay, now we have
but
two.
Fuji is going, hey, Hogan.
Yeah, he's taunting Hogan to come into the ring and fight Yoko, and of course Bret, for some reason, points him in there to fight him. Hogan comes in, and you have the 30-second match between Hogan and Yoko, in which Hogan squashes him, gives him the big leg drop, 1, 2, 3. Magically, Hulk Hogan is your new WWF champion.
As a kid, I liked the finish. Now I hate it. It was... You know more, but let's hear
Especially when you hear about the backstage politics.
Well, that's what I was about to say. You've read Bret's book, because that's your guy, like we've established.
Basically, what the story behind it that I've heard, not just from Bret's book, but from multiple internet interviews, is Hogan, at the time, on the day of the pay-per-view, said that he would not go out for the tag match unless he won the belt that night. So, basically, he was cool with just working the tag match until it came to the day of the show. I guess he was really politicking to Vince that couldn't be a good enough main event, and he just couldn't see himself working in that tag match if he wasn't going to win the belt later.
Jeez.
Surprise.
What a cocksucker.
Hulk Hogan has to have the big moment. And this was supposed to set up later down the road
Bret and him at
dropping
SummerSlam?
the belt to Bret at SummerSlam.
But he wouldn't, right?
Which, of course, Hogan was gone after the King of the Ring, complained of his knees hurting or whatever, and ended up going to WCW after that. So this finish really made no sense. Then they had the most, I want to say, the most gimmicky finish ever at the King of the Ring. Oh, the flash paper in his eyes from
Japanese
the camera.
photographer.
Yeah.
It looked like he was in
So
fucking
Yoko wins the belt back at King of the Ring. But as for this pay-per-view finish,
that's how they end.
This is how WrestleMania 9 ended. So that my favorite pay-per-view of all time. I know.
Pay-per-view of all time?
Well, my favorite WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
Yeah, my favorite WrestleMania of all time. Some of the matches weren't that great, but as a 6-7-year-old kid, it was definitely entertaining to me. I thought it was good. I thought a lot of the matches were good. I think 3/4 of the matches are good, which is what you can hope for from a WrestleMania.
Well, they're not all going to be good.
They're
That's
not.
pretty
No
much
WrestleMania has good matches top to bottom. I mean, they never turn out that way. There's always 1 or 2 matches that are disappointing.
Well, yeah, that's WrestleMania.
That was WrestleMania 9 from Caesar's Palace.
I agree. I really love WrestleMania 9, and when people talk shit about it, I always defend it.
Yep, I might even watch some of it.
Well,
but,
show number 2, Michael.
Show number 2 is down.
What do you think, man?
I'm liking it. You guys tell us what you think. Hey, that's why we're doing it. Please give us some comments down in the comment section. Tell us what you think of the show. Any questions you might have, ask us. We are wrestling encyclopedias. We can answer any question you might have, whether it be trivia or if you want our opinion on something that's going on now or anything involving wrestling. Don't be afraid to ask.
Was there anything else that you want to say before I take it home for us? Anything you want to maybe have in store for next week? Got up your sleeve? Or?
Next week, probably look for a Raw review. We'll probably see what's going on. Obviously, this weekend we have the
Roadblock.
The Roadblock event.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to catch that one. There's some stuff going on I'm not going to delve into, but
yeah.
I have to be out of town.
I'm probably going to skip over that unless something major happens.
But we'll cover the results on the next show.
Yeah, we'll go over the results.
I'm sure some angles will happen.
It's not really something that I'm excited to watch.
Michael, you want to sign off for yourself here?
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you. Like I said before, hit us with the likes. Any kind of questions or comments, hit us up with them. Thank you for having me again, Travis. And that's it from me.
My pleasure. You'll probably be here every week. It wouldn't be the show without you.
Gotta have it. Gotta be here.
Well, as he said, you can hit us up on Twitter at thehibikitmd.com because this is a subdivision. A subdivision. What the fuck? Are we in the Navy?
What are we, the NCAA?
Well, it's time to sign off. It's time to cut off myself from alcohol, apparently. Thanks for checking us out, guys. Hit up HibikitMD on YouTube. Check out more game videos, video game music, retrospectives, history, podcast, you name it, we're doing it. If you guys have a request, let us hear it. We'll catch you guys next week with more updates, more catchy news bullshit.
And more Slam Pigs podcast.
Baby. See you guys later. Have a good week.
Hey, what is going on here?